Hi, Anya. All right, we're live. Hi, and welcome to Unbox Coffee Break. And this is my allergy. I'm sitting in the garden today because when I started Unbox Coffee Break, it was just an idea during lockdown. Everyone was confused, miserable, not knowing what to do, and I haven't seen my friends, so we started meeting over live coffee break. Yesterday and today, the weather has been absolutely incredible in Dubai, and I'm sitting in my garden thinking, what can I do today on my list of tasks with a broken arm? And I remembered how we started this from the garden, and the weather is absolutely fantastic. So I chose to do it now during the day so we can enjoy the garden together. And it will also give a chance to followers who, I don't know, are busy at other times to watch it now. And maybe if you have any question, let me know, drop them in the sticker and I will try and answer them. So what made me think about structures is where we left at in coffee break. We were talking about the first dimension of change, which is the physical body. And the physical body is about structures because it is the structure within which you live. It is your vehicle in life. What you do, how you move, the goals you accomplish, your life task all depends on the wellness of your physical body. And I tried to bring in other dimensions when we were talking about the 4 pillars or the 4 dimensions of change in Unbox Life Mentoring. And the first one is the physical body. And then we go to emotions, remember Bima? And then we go to the mind, your belief systems. And the final step in the awareness is your actions and accountability to your actions. So the body is a structure because it is where you live. Your immediate environment is also a structure because it is where you live. So the way that I look at it is my inner world. I need to detox, cleanse, heal every now and then. But it also got me thinking, because I've been working a lot in the garden with the new season. So here, fall is almost like spring. The structure needed some mending. The garden needed some mending and changes. And I was looking at old pictures and videos, and things have really changed. And it just reminded me of the work that we do on ourselves. We hardly notice sometimes because we're just busy going on through life. But it's when you stop, you stand back, you step back, and you can see that you've actually made a lot of improvement without realizing. And the shape of the garden now is completely different than 2 years ago when we first moved in here after my beloved husband passed away. And in a sense, I've been pouring all that love into the garden because he really appreciated it and we enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it with my mom in her last few years. We really enjoyed hanging out in the garden, so it means a lot to me. Plus the awareness that your immediate environment, your outer environment really relates to the inner environment. Before my arm was broken, I was on a different track. I had a list of things to do and I was gonna get them done, and then the arm broke and it is disabling, but I tried not to let that stop me. So I've learned to write with my left hand. I'll put in some pictures later. And actually, it's decent left hand writing. So I don't feel down anymore. I don't feel incapacitated, if there is such a word, I don't know. But that gave me a sense of hope and okay, I can't do what I intended to do. What can I do now? And this is one of the things that you can ask to stop yourself from spiraling down. Why should we stop ourselves from spiraling down? Because if we do, it takes a lot more effort, a lot more energy, a lot more coaching, a lot more psychology, a lot more shift in mindset to get you back on track and to go to where you went to where you want to go. So it's quite important, and this is really resilience, because the essence of resilience is establishing the structures but remaining flexible within that structure. So just in the same way that I needed to change the structure of the garden, I also changed the structure of how I work, how I do my lists. And what reminded me of all of that is a client that I was talking to over Zoom, I think about 2 days ago. I'm just reviewing in my head where we got at, how is she's doing, and she's one of the clients who has taken the longer package of mentoring. So it's been really a pleasure to see how her life has changed. And she got stuck and she started to blame herself, what is it that I'm doing wrong? I'm slipping back again, etc. And I said, no, you're not. You've actually moved, but the structures that you got used to using in the past no longer apply now. And this is why you are stuck. Part of you has moved forward and the other part is still lagging using old structures. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, I want to show you, here. I want to show you a little bit of the garden while we speak. And sometimes we don't realize that we set things in place, we set structures in place, and then we realize these structures don't work and we start blaming ourselves. And it's important to realize the first step is setting the structure. The second step is you want to make sure that whatever boundaries, structure you've set for yourself, whatever paradigm, that it is flexible. Because if you label it and if you're fixed on what it is, then there is no room to see things in a different way, and there is no room to adapt in order to stay on track. Remember, in Unbox, we have a happy medium. We don't have a perfect line of alignment. Nothing is perfect. And this is because the universe is always vibrating, changing. However way you look at it, the seasons are changing, nature changes even within a season. So there is room for flexibility, and the flexibility is what creates solution. Because if we're really fixed in our ways, then we're gonna leave out other possibilities that are not in our line of vision. And what I suggested to her is that she needed to modify her structure. What was stressing her is that she travels a lot, and yes, people do travel in COVID, which is really great. And she traveled between North Africa and France and Italy, and things were getting a little bit hectic. What happened to me with my arm is I got inspired by my friend and coach, Alex, House of Social, and she had a lot of colored stickers on the wall. And I'm really a creative person. I'm really a visual person as well. Although my background in engineering is structures and I'm very good with Excel sheets and so on, I found it boring. I just had lists and lists, and it was so overwhelming that I couldn't do anything. So with my left hand, I started writing the things that I was inspired with, the things that I now feel should be done, not necessarily in the past order. And I made sure I used colored stickers, and now I look at them every day, in the morning, last thing at night, during the day. And it's just, it became like a fun exercise. So I suggested for her to do the same. Why don't you just make lists, and they're on sticky notes, so you can remove them whenever something gets done. That will give you the incentive to keep removing them, or change things around, or change the order around, rather than a fixed list in an Excel sheet. And you can see it, because Excel sheet is in the computer, and if you don't sit at your computer and so on, things get really difficult. It just places more boundaries. And now I'm really focused on moving forward. So if an obstacle comes up, I usually say, okay, what can I do now? What is possible now? And then that gives me a way out around that obstacle. And she loved that idea. And she said, okay, but when I travel, I said, why don't you put it in an A4 folder? So put all the sticky notes in a folder that you just fold, you take with you, and whatever country you are in, whatever hotel you're staying at, you can open that folder and you can see what you have done, what you have not done, and you can keep the lists updated. So the point is, structures, although we need them because this is how we start to create. Think of designing a house, putting the architectural plans. If you don't do the plan, you're not going to build the house. Think about, when you do that, you think about functionality. What is the purpose of each room? In the same way in life, whatever you need to do, it's the same. You need to create that structure even if it's a product. You need to think about the container, the packaging, etc., and then what goes in and so on. So when you think of structures, also remember that you can revise the structure, you can revise the functionality of a certain room. I know that for sure. I'm gonna walk around and just see the changes that have been done in the garden. You can change that structure around because even within a room, like right now, my cousin and my niece, we all share the space, and since we all work from home, it's become a little bit difficult and a little bit limiting as to how do we work, how do we do what we do without getting in the way of each other. So I realized even the structure on the inside needed to be changed. So we shifted furniture around, we created different workstations. Hello, Milo. And now we're not in each other's way. And in terms of the garden, I've realized now how the sun moves, where the shade is. And remember that IKEA bed that has now become kind of like a canopy? This bougainvillea is going up. And I'm continuing to revise the structure here because I'm creating a space where I can sit, meditate, do what I want to do. And this is the rest of the IKEA bed. And it's going up over this door because the sun really hits badly over here. It's gonna go over this door, and here I'm going to grow a vine because I love grapes. I don't know. Every Mediterranean person should have grapes, should have figs and olive. And I'm continuously taking plants out of certain pots, changing the pots and restructuring even the garden from the inside and the outside. This is a huge tree from the front garden that we've asked the municipality not to cut because it creates the shade. It also separates us from neighbors across. So I've created another space because the weather is getting really better so that I am outdoors rather than bound indoors. We've worked a lot on this front area. So here, a hedge is going to go up. It really grows very quickly, so we should see a difference in a few weeks. And completely tidied up this area. We raised the soil a little bit so that the water doesn't drain. And I've taken these trees, which were indoors. You could hardly see them in the indoor garden. And I've decided to put them here so that they can begin to create shade. And this is to help with the flow of the energy really into the house. I just want to inspire myself walking in, coming out, having the shade. This is where we used to sit here and have coffee in the afternoon because the sun moves to the back, so this area is completely shaded. And although this does not belong to us, this area, I've chosen to really plant it. And now the flowers are coming up. And then you have something really pleasant to look at. I'm doing all of this on the outside, and I'm thinking on the inside, I have to show you this area. It's really also has been redone. And I'm also thinking on the inside, what can I do with the Unbox Academy? So I've laid out all the courses, what needs to be done, what's going up for free. Hopefully a lot of it is for free. But you're gonna have some paid stuff for people who want to go on a deeper level. So this has been rearranged, and now I've noticed, wonderful, look at the lemon tree. Fantastic. That even the cats love hanging out in the garden because the space has changed. Of course, they have to sit on the seat before you do. And all of this is working inside and outside. So whatever structures, even if you're busy laying your business, laying the ground, you can take time out to do something creative to inspire you, to relax, to allow your body to breathe, to recharge. All of it really is connected, and all of it is important. So flexibility, yes, to structures, but make sure that your structures are flexible. Why? So that you don't get stressed and come down on yourself and spiral down and think that you're doing something wrong, you're not. This door so I can come in. Oh, great. And I'm really looking forward to this corner here where I can sit with my laptop or even maybe the phone and do more coffee breaks. And what really inspired today is an account, Abdullah, I've put it in my story. Very interesting guy who talks about the seasons, the land, planting, agriculture, but he links it to the skies, to the movement of the planets and the stars, which is really amazing. It kind of takes you out of your immediate environment, connects you to the rest of the universe. And to me personally, it made me feel that I'm part of something bigger than I am. And I think it's important to feel that we are part of something bigger than who we think we are, because it allows you a bigger perspective, a wider perspective. For me, it inspires me with new ways of looking at things, with solutions. So the more connected you are to your environment, on the inside, zero in, but step back and zero out, zoom out, and then you can see how everything is connected in your life and what it means to be part of that big network. So you're not so self-involved, you're not putting yourself, judging yourself, putting yourself under the microscope. All of these things bring our mindset down, and then it's so difficult to spiral up again and to pick up the threads and to move forward. Right. Any questions? What do you think of what we have been discussing so far? Well, if I don't have time to answer your question, DM, text, don't get stuck, move forward, and I wish you a fantastic weekend. So good to be with you today. Take care. Bye for now.